Right, hello there, good afternoon and welcome to the program. Good afternoon, Ghana, here on Metro Television. Welcome to you live from our studios at Northridge. It's a pleasure always coming your way. My name is Desmond Okrekudanso and we're on till 2 p.m. today. And coming up on the show today, we will be bringing you the news updates. Helen and you were just standing by to bring us the updates. But after that, we will get into some conversations regarding the use of the Publican AI system at the ports. Well, the coalition of freight forwarders have released a statement and they are asking the Ministry of Finance to put a hold on the usage of that system at the port. We'll hear from them as they join us in studio for that conversation. Remember a few days ago, a member of Parliament joined us, New Job in South, that is Michael Ochibefi, joined us in studio where we talked about this issue. So we'll get into that also on the show. And then later, you must have heard that the Technical Committee of the National Road Safety Authority have released a statement, and they are saying that Voxy cars should not be used for commercial purposes. And in fact, in the long run, vehicles that are imported into the country with the right-hand driving will be banned. What exactly are they looking for? We'll talk about that later on the show. And of course, we'll open the phone lines today on that because it's a very important conversation that we need to talk about. So these are many more coming up on the show till 2 p.m. So do well to stay with us here on the program. We're live on Facebook at Metro TV Ghana, also on DSTV channel 277, 94.1 on radio, and also we are live on Multi TV. Helen is ready with the news updates. Hello, Helen.
Hi, Desmond. Hope you are doing well.
I am great. Take us away with the updates.
Okay, thank you very much. My name again is Helen Anyeweja. It is now time for the news update segment on Good Afternoon Ghana. Coming up this afternoon. President Mahama chairs emergency cabinet meeting to address the recent surge in fuel prices to mitigate the impact on households and businesses. Also coming up this afternoon, police on manhunt for 3 suspects who allegedly murdered a 20-year-old man following an altercation in Dansoman, Glefe. Later on today's edition of Good Afternoon Ghana, we will be engaging some members of the trading community who are calling for the suspension of the Publican AI system for customers' valuation. This and more coming up now. Please stay with us. Thank you very much for keeping us company. My name again is Helena Nyeweja, and we're coming live to you from the Kiabwahema studio here at Northridge. We start from here. A minor incident 3 weeks ago has ended in a nightmare for a family in Glefe, suburb of Accra. The community in mourning are demanding justice for 20-year-old Emmanuel Date Bruce, who tragically lost his life for what began as his quest for accountability. In the community, there is more in the following report by Ella Zida.
According to the mother of the deceased, Emmanuel Date Bruce was seeking accountability after a young man known as Prince struck his nephew with a bike 3 weeks ago. This simple confrontation led to a series of verbal abuse which eventually led to the death of Emmanuel Date Bruce. Here's the mother and sister of the deceased narrating the incident to Metro News.
Ne tebo na chuno kan bilen kan kan bulo kan bi ne fana kan bilen shile ne ba ne twabe ke ba me ka pare jem kwase wo ne lo meke ba na ba na te geto mi aswanya ni menso na akwaye mu na ni pade ni ba fom bi ne ha we sida ka wa kai to fa na shi kan ko ni ha ne li shi wa ya je ma hun tu mutiri bi sin mi ni gbe ogba mbile ne ke bo ni ke mo to twa be ke ikele pe ni kan ho chun wa no ke mo to twa mo bile o ba bi esia ke gbolo e wala mi ife to nyani me so mi fuba na pata bo e ti mbile le ba shian e ya shi woro ke kom le ba yi mo ka e chu mi ni be shian aka e chu mi no ni bo e ne ya che mo ni ba chu do mbile ne ba je ko chu ba chu e ba shian mi no ni to kokoko Yeah, I can go in village, no can you wish our master. You can like a bow 2 times no few man, crown a camino or I'm a crown. Go must offer no boy money. Ya chamo kama numbile tu maizile chile te. Ami ile. No wana boys come boy si bi na me family trash am nkwe. No dey yimbla na mbila jeku ni kan dey wese. Mfele kan dey wese. Na hi tu ma trauma no ni boy shaka kaya no e ka bombile flow. No me bade na ami. Si mo ko ba bombi ka stama o tashin. Ba ko na trap flow bile be ni bambile kashi poni.
Upon hearing of the incident, a Member of Parliament for Ablikuma West constituency, Reverend Kwikuwado, paid the family a courtesy visit and assured the family of justice. Currently, the 3 suspects, Prince, Money, and 1 other, are on the run as the Dansoman police station are bent on bringing them to book.
Police service has arrested a 22-year-old man in connection with a viral social media video in which he posed as a bandit and issued threats that caused widespread panic. This was contained in a statement issued by the police. Let's take a look at our screen now. Police arrest suspects for causing fear and panic. The Ghana Police Service has arrested a suspect in connection with a viral video in which he posed as a bandit and made a threatening remark that caused fear and panic among members of the public. The video showed the suspect posing with his face covered under the caption, "We are starting from Ghana churches." The post quickly gained traction on TikTok and generated widespread concern. Through sustained intelligence gathering and surveillance, officers identified and arrested the suspect, Evans Popolampo, aged 22, on Tuesday, 7th April 2026 at Ashaiman Community 22. Interrogation, the suspect admitted to being the individual in the video. He stated that he had copied a similar trending post on social media for fun and did not intend to cause harm or panic. A Samsung Galaxy A15 mobile phone used in creating and sharing the video The suspect is currently in police custody, assisting investigations, and will be put before court to face justice. From that, President John Mahama is chairing an emergency cabinet meeting scheduled for today to address the rising cost of fuel. The meeting is expected to focus on measures to cushion Ghanaians from the impact of rising fuel prices, largely attributed to ongoing tensions in the Middle East. Prior to today, the president was in Paris, France, for the One Health Summit, which was brought together by global leaders to discuss collaborative approaches to health, environment, and sustainability challenges. He also held bilateral talks with French President Emmanuel Macron. Joining me for details of the president's itinerary is correspondent Shadrach Odami Ejari. He'll be joining me very shortly as we discuss everything of what happened. Okay, so we'll be talking to him in a bit as we go ahead to other stories. Okay, so Shadrach has joined me via Zoom. Shadrach, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Helen.
Great. Now, Shadrach, first of all, we understand the president got some rousing welcome from the Ghanaian community in France. Tell us a bit more about that reception.
Right. So the president was billed to be in France, and the first stop was in Lyon, where he was supposed to coach One Health Summit with or alongside President Emmanuel Macron. So as part of processes, he had Ghanaians, and we all knew it was Easter Monday. So possibly, I would say that was the best Easter Monday gift for the Ghanaian community in Lyon, France. And people came out in their numbers to cheer the president on, wave the Ghana flags, the little and the big ones, just wave them while the huge flags were hoisted around to welcome the president. I mean, of late, we have all realized that he has started, or he's been on the lips of many after the Davos conference, also his remarks at the United Nations meeting recently on reparations and declaring slavery the gravest crime to humanity. So on Easter Monday, we had Ghanaian residents or the Ghanaian community in Lyon coming out to cheer the president on welcome. It was such a spectacle, and everybody was so happy or elated to meet the president. So Ellen, a sneak peek into Lyon's welcome, I would say that was what happened. That was their Easter gifts.
Okay. Now, on the One Health Summit, what did the president say, and what was the response from other global leaders as well?
So the One Health Summit was supposed to be co-chaired, or it was co-chaired by President John Dramani Mahama and the President of France, Emmanuel Macron. And core of this discussion was the link, or President John Mahama was establishing the link between climate change and environmental health, or the ecosystem degradation, and then rising health risk. And now he wants the world to understand that when we want to talk about health, it is not a straight look or casting stone look at just the human body, but the fact that things like climate change also come to affect human health, or the total degradation of ecosystem coming in. Africa's long held traditions of integrated health practices has also made the One Health approach not merely theoretical, but people have started living the reality. So you cannot have a discussion of human health where you want to talk about all the things surrounding medicine and biology, but you would have to add environmental health to sum it up. So that was where it was. And then there was another conversation on global health financing, where you have the Western world or the strong economies coming to support the rising economies when it comes to health. He was also warning the world or global leaders to brace themselves and protect themselves. Otherwise, we may also be looking at another huge or a very big health crisis like we saw COVID. You still have outbreaks of Mpox and Lassa fever lingering. So the president drew the global leaders' attention to such. And he also mentioned that usually when these issues happen, for those that are like growing economies or third world countries, they mostly suffer. Even though the Western world suffers, they mostly suffer because they lack the funding to support themselves. They end up feeling the brunt so much of these occurrences rather than countries where we may see it stemmed down from. So that was one of the, or parts of the conversation that went on. And generally, we also had President Macron also telling Ghana, or assuring Ghana that Ghana is going to be part of the launch of the health insurance franchise France is going to launch. Hello.
Stand is chairing a cabinet meeting on the rising fuel prices. Has that meeting begun yet? Right.
So President John Dramani Mahama has arrived in Ghana, like you said, and it is for the chairing of the meeting. The meeting is coming on the back of this rising fuel prices, which mostly has been linked to the ongoing tensions in the Middle East. So before the president left for France in his speech during the Kwewu Business Forum on Saturday, April 4th, the president identified some practical interventions Ghana can embark on to cushion us from the impact of rising fuel or petroleum prices. And he also reaffirmed his government's commitment to easing the burdens on citizens, maintaining that cabinet will assess the other various components of the fuel price build-up and consider options to also provide relief for the and during the meeting, unions for holding off on increasing via restraint as critical in helping to manage the situation. And looking at the current pricing window, we would realize that you've had like petrol rising from up to about 13 cities 30 pesos. That is about a 15% increment, and also diesel increasing up to about 17 cities 10 pesos, which is roughly a 19% increment. So the president is supposed to meet every stakeholder that is needed today on these interventions they can take as a government to cushion the citizenry. So we are awaiting the outcome, and whatever will come out of this meeting, we are going to feed to our viewers on all our platforms, Metro, Original TV, and Original FM. Helen.
Okay, thank you very much, Shadrach, for that day. We really appreciate you talking to us on this very happening with President Mahama and among other issues. That was my colleague, Shadrach Udami Ejari, who is our presidential correspondent. Now, away from that, the New Patriotic Party has held a crucial National Executive Committee meeting aimed at reviewing its internal guidelines and preparing for upcoming party elections.
The meeting held at the party's headquarters in Asylum down in Accra brought together top party executives to deliberate on key issues following the recent nationwide membership registration exercise. Now, discussions focus on refining electoral guidelines and ensuring a credible process ahead of police station, electoral area and constituency level elections. Now, addressing the media after the meeting, the party's communications director, Richard Ahiagba, outlined the key outcomes of the deliberation.
Emergency meeting, and largely discussions focused on the membership registration and in preparation for the police station elections as well. Some small adjustments to our earlier guidelines that we issued in relation to the formation of the polling station election committees. Initially, we're saying we're going to make 10 election committees, or per a police station, a particular police station election committee will supervise 10 police station elections, but we have increased that number now to 25 so that we can bring down the number of election committees across the country.
Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Divine O2 Akohom, also shed light on the criteria and issues discussed by the committee.
Thank you. The party, as you are aware, after the 2024 general elections, we didn't do too well. A committee was put together to actually find out what happened. And as part of the committee's recommendations, we were to do early presidential primaries. We are done with that. And now we are in the process of doing the party reorganization. What we mean by that is to have the polling station register, which is the base registration for every member of this party. The party put together guidelines to see to it that we operate within the constitutional framework of the party. So yes, that process is ongoing. We are done with the registration per the 30 days window that the party gave. We are now in the process of uploading the details onto the party's database.
Now, the NEC is expected to fine-tune the party's electoral roadmap in the coming days as the NPP position itself to conduct what leadership describes as transparent and inclusive internal elections. The outcome of today's meeting are likely to shape the party's internal democratic processes ahead of the next electoral cycle. For Metro News, I am Vanessa Edotumbuatin, NPP Party Headquarters, Asylum Down, Accra.
Politics this afternoon, a former government spokesperson, Mustafa Abdul Hamid, has officially announced his intention to contest for the position of National Vice Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, citing a clarion call from party grassroots and supporters. In a statement addressed to party members, Dr. Abdul Hamid said persistent appeals from the rank and file had compelled him to step forward and offer his experience, institutional memory, and strategic insight to support the party's rebuilding efforts. Let's turn to our screens now. Now, Mustafa Abdul Hamid to run or NPP Vice Chair. Now, in the past few days, there have been persistent calls for me to run for office as a national executive member of our great party. The rank file have sent out a clarion call to me to place my experience, institutional memory, and strategic insight at the disposal of our collective revival. I have listened. Therefore, I hereby formally announce my decision to vie for the position of National Vice Chairman when nominations open. This is not an ambition born of personal gain, but a desire to give back to the party what it has invested in me. Under the tutelage of the late lawyer J.K.B. Spiel, I was founding member of the UCC branch of the NPP in 1992. Now, I was present at the Victoria Park in Cape Coast when we lit a bonfire to signal the transition from Dankwa Buzia Club to the New Patriotic Party, NPP, on 18th May 1992. I ran for national organizer in 2001 and I lost. I was the first elected national youth organizer of the party. I ran for general secretary in 2005 and lost. I served as a spokesperson for candidate Akufo-Addo for 10 years. I served as Deputy National Campaign Manager for the party in the 2020 election. I have been forged in the fire of battle. I have won some and lost some. I have the scars to show. I am a scholar in the true sense of the word. I believe I have enough intellectual firepower to give covering fire to whoever will be elected chairman. We shall re-strategize, rebuild, and reorganize and return this party to its rightful place in leadership. The battle to recover our nation begins from within. Victoria Asserta. Away from that, former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has been released from the detention by the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement (ICE). Communications Director of the New Patriotic Party, Richard Ahiagba, says it does not believe on the party to extradite Ken Ofori-Atta to Ghana, adding that the NDC should channel same energy in bringing Sedinam Tamaklo back to the country to face the law. Meanwhile, member of National Democratic Congress legal team Victor Kojoga Adawudu advised Ken Ofori-Atta to return and prove his innocence.
The whole idea that somehow MPP controls Ken Ofori-Atta as an individual and that he is wedded to the party's fortune, and so therefore if he hasn't been here to go through a certain process the state is looking for him to go through, then it is MPP's responsibility to produce him. There's no such thing, okay, that the MPP must produce him as if we have gone to hide him somewhere or we are keeping him and it is up to us to say, let there be Ken, and then there will be Ken. There's no such thing. So it's a fallacy to have that conversation and to kind of wed him to the party the way people are trying to. Because if that was a reasonable position to hold, Moro, then Madame Sedinam Tamaklo's status as a fugitive from justice, because she was actually convicted, and she is running away from sentence. Ken has not been charged or convicted of any crime, and so if there is any impact to accrue from a member of a political party being a fugitive from justice, then Madam Sednam Tabaklo should have been for the NDC.
It is important that he comes. If he comes, I'm sure he may be able to clear the allegations against him. If he's not able, he would pay for it. If he doesn't come, you see, that would be good. That blot on his career, even as a person, will stay forever. It will be indelible. That blot will be there.
Okay.
Because when I meet maybe his son, or anything, I say, is that not that minister who ran away? Is that not the son? Right? Is that not the son? Is that not the brother? Is that not the cousin? It's going to be a blot on your career. 2, on your family. 3, the party he said. This is political. Yeah, you see, you are giving a meal, and the politicians will make political meal out of it because somebody of such status has run away, right? And his party is not able to say anything. So anytime they mention MPP, you know, it will be coterminous. They will put all together. That is why the party, in its own interest, to have that credibility to stand on and say that, look, we are credible. That's why the party maybe is involved here that, yes, the party can advise him. The party has that power to say, look, you know what, if ABCD, you are not coming, you are expelled from the party because we want to have a clean slate.
Let's attention to other matters. As a private legal practitioner, Charles Akoto Lamptey Jr. has petitioned the president, John Dramani Mahama, calling for the immediate suspension of ongoing works on Terminal 2 at the Kotoka International Airport. Now, Charles Akoto Lamptey Jr. raised concerns about procurement integrity, economic efficiency, and long-term infrastructure planning.
In the petition, the lawyer argues that Terminal 2 had previously been deemed inadequate based on engineering and operational assessments, a decision that led to the construction of Terminal 3 as a modern replacement facility. He contends that the current works described by authorities as repurposing are misleading, insisting that activities such as leak repairs, ceiling replacement, and structural patching amount to refurbishment rather than a functional transformation of the facility. According to him, mischaracterizing the nature of the project risks distorting procurement processes and undermining the justification for the use of public funds. The petitioner further warns that refurbishing outdated infrastructure could prove to be a false economy, noting that legacy facilities are not designed to meet modern aviation demands and may require continuous costly maintenance. He adds that splitting passenger traffic between Terminal 2 and Terminal 3 could weaken the latter's return on investment and affect Ghana's ambition of becoming a competitive regional aviation hub. Citing provisions in the Public Financial Management Act and the Public Procurement Act, the lawyer cautions that continued investment in a previously obsolete facility could expose public officials to audit queries and possible sanctions. The petition also raises national security concerns, highlighting the limitations of Terminal 2 in supporting modern integrated aviation systems such as biometric processing, surveillance, and advanced baggage handling. As part of the process, the lawyer has filed a request under the Right to Information Act, seeking access to engineering reports, procurement records, and board decisions related to the project. He is therefore urging government to reconsider the project and prioritize a full reconstruction of Terminal 2, warning that failure to do so could result in financial inefficiencies, legal risks, and setbacks to Ghana's aviation development agenda.
That'll be all for the news updates here on Good Afternoon Ghana. Thank you very much for making time with us. My name is Helena Nyeweja, as Desmond Okwekudanso is standing by for more after this break. Do stay.
Hey buddy, it's me Azar.
Yeah, me now they see. Hey, you don't look fresh. Oh.
Hey.
With your label today. Me.
Wait till you see what's inside me.
Azar, freshly made inside and out for greater coverage and colors that last longer and beautify your walls, spaces and places. Azar, no size. Go ahead. Buy now. Azar, #1 from Azar Group since 1921.
Looking for comfort, convenience, and class all in one place? Welcome to Stay Easy Apartments on Conference Center, where modern living meets exceptional service. Whether you're staying for business or leisure, Stay Easy offers you a home away from home. Spacious and well-furnished apartments, pool, gym, and everything you need to relax and feel at ease. Planning a meeting, workshop, or special event? Our event grounds and state-of-the-art conference center is designed to host your events and bring your vision to life. From corporate gatherings to private functions, we provide the perfect space, supported by modern equipment and a professional team ready to assist you. At Stay Easy, your comfort and success are our priority. Book your stay or reserve your space today. Call us at 020-739-1473 or 0244-226367. Stay Easy Apartments and Conference Center. Stay easy with us.
Hey, Bunty, why you there? Wallahi, today you go give me my money.
Oh, my guy, what's up? Oba unze me din na dede baby. Scan on air saying 500 cedis per. Ah.
Hey, I see. Level don't change. But to show me the way.
But there's some sorry Amanua. Talk to babe.
¿Quieres ganar dinero?
Huh?
Cash.
Yes, cash.
Let me show you the easy way to make money with OneChat.
Visit the WannaOwn website at wannaown.us. Sign up with your phone number and get ready to play. Select games on the home page and then select One Shot Game. Deposit to make an entry, then pick a number from 0 to 99. If your number comes up, you win a cool 500 cedis.
Hey, so it'll be easy like that.
Just like that.
So I'll go buy my dream car.
Por supuesto. Just visit wannaown.us and win some cool cash prizes.
It's Bemi. Boom!
You be too much.
Play responsibly. Gaming can be addictive. Accredited and endorsed by the Gaming Commission of Ghana.
Right, welcome back from the break. This is Good Afternoon Ghana on Metro Television. My name is Desmond Okreku Danso, and we're live on Facebook and Metro TV Ghana, also on DSTV channel 277, and also on 94.1 FM on radio. We're live on there. The next conversation we're going to have is one that I believe has got everybody talking, and that is where we want to start from this afternoon. Now, the Technical Working Committee of the National Road Safety Authority has declared the use of Toyota Voxy vehicles for commercial transport as illegal, citing safety concerns linked to the design and widespread modification in Ghana. The directive follows an investigation into the growing use of the minivans as public transport, particularly after being converted from right-hand to left-hand drive. Now, presenting the committee's final report on Wednesday, the chairman of the committee, Godwin Kafi Ayeto, described the situation as a major threat to passenger safety and called for urgent regulatory action. He explained that the vehicle, originally manufactured for private family use, is not engineered for the rigors of commercial transport, particularly under Ghana's road conditions. And he noted that the vehicle's limitations become more pronounced when deployed for long-distance or rough terrain operations, adding that more robust alternatives exist for such purposes. Now, the committee also found out that many of the vehicles currently in use have undergone extensive structural modifications, including changes to suspension systems and tires, often by unlicensed operators, and this increases the likelihood of mechanical failure. Now, beyond the technical concerns, the committee identified that there is a systemic breakdown in regulation allowing such vehicles to be imported, modified, and used commercially without adequate oversight. He warned that thousands of such vehicles may already be operating across the country without safety standards. In the final assessment of this committee, it concluded that the continued use of the Voxy vehicles in its current form for commercial transport presents an unacceptable risk to public safety. Right, so there you have it. The Technical Working Committee of the National Road Safety Authority handing over their report yesterday. And let's stay on this. Let's engage Dr. Nana Yao Akwada. He's Executive Director for the Bureau of Public Safety. He joins us via Zoom, and also Samuel Amwa is Deputy PRO for the DPRTU. He's going to join us via phone. Let's begin with Doc first. Dr. Akwada, welcome to Good Afternoon Ghana. Many thanks for joining us on this very, very important conversation. What was your initial reaction when the news broke that the technical committee has submitted their report, and the report says that there should be a ban on the use of these vehicles?
To your viewers and listeners.
Hello, Doc.
I think, yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, I think I can hear you now. Please go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, good afternoon to your viewers and your listeners. I think that to a large extent, we must appreciate that it is within the mandate of the National Road Safety Authority to make such declarations, or to, as it were, commit a study into such a phenomenon, and consequently adopt the recommendations of such a study. But there are a few questions that I believe the public should be asking the National Road Safety Authority.
Okay, so
I must also put on record. I must also put on record that they admit that there are systemic challenges within, the jurisdiction that has led to the mass importation of these vehicles. So one would want to ask, number one, the data, what kind of data did the study committee work with? We want to see that data. I think that report should be made public so that all of us could review it. And then if there are any gaps or there are any aspects that we can take care of to ensure that, the system is made more robust, we do. Secondly, the systemic challenges that the report mentioned, what is the National Road Safety Authority doing about those systemic challenges, so that we don't want to have a situation where this phenomenon will recur. At the time that these vehicles started coming in, where was the National Road Safety Authority? Do they have a policy document in place that prevents these vehicles from coming in, or when they come in that they are not used for commercial vehicles, commercial purposes? Aside that, I believe that the safety observations that they made, while they are trying to avoid mass casualty incidents, we must admit that even the usage of these vehicles in the jurisdiction as private, does not remove the safety concerns away. And the fact that there are no separate roads for commercial vehicles and for private vehicles, by allowing these vehicles on our roads, we are still, maintaining that same level of risk or hazard on our roads. So what is the National Road Safety Authority's plan of action to address that challenge which has now come to stay with us? Because I may not use it for a torture, but I'm using it as a family van.
Right.
Now, those challenges, the safety concerns that have been raised, should they arise, would they not impact on, say, another vehicle, like we say in Ghanaian parlance, driving to it somewhere, and then my concern will impact on it? So what is the National Road Safety plan of action to address, that situation? Are we banning completely these vehicles on our roads, or are we going to put in place a system to, review and enable these vehicles to be able to be used within their jurisdiction? Those are key aspects that I believe we should be asking the National Road Safety Authority, because all of these, it's not only the banning, but to make our roads safe, to improve road experience, are all within the mandate of the National Road Safety Authority.
Right. And Doc, those are very important points that you have raised, that if we are banning this for commercial use, are we saying that it is right to be used as, for family and not for commercial use? And again, persons have raised questions about the fact that it may not be about the car. It may be the one who handles the car. Is that a legitimate point there?
Well, to the extent that, accidents are concerned, we say accidents don't just happen, right? It's a combination of several factors. And we know by statistics that nearly 80% of human factors contribute to all incidents. So that cannot be removed out of the question. I would like us to look at because this is not the first time we are importing, right-handed vehicles into our country. I remember as far back as, I think, between 2001 and 2008, the state itself imported buses that were right-hand drive that we converted to left-hand drive. At the time, we drove them without any issue. So if we use those buses and we have no issues, we have to go back and look at what was done then. Were there certified and licensed, mechanics and electricians who were working on these? Were there certified and licensed mechanics who were working on suspensions and other components related to the changing from right to left? If there were, can we leverage on these aspects to ensure that people who have imported these vehicles, that the state itself has taken duties from them, has allowed them to bring them into the jurisdiction they want to feed their families with, we do not shortchange them. That after the state had okayed for them to bring it in, another state agency says, no, you can't use it. Elsewhere, the government will be facing these people in courts for, pursuits. So I think that while we applaud the National Road Safety Authority for being, I won't say proactive, but for being timelessly reactive, but we must, think of the whole thing as a broader subject and deal with it than to just say, well, from today onwards, you can't use it for a commercial vehicle, but others are using it for private purposes, right? And they are sharing the same roads as other road users. So what are we doing?
Okay. Doc, you're going to hold on for me and let me get to the GPRT. But even before that, the data says that in 2026 alone, in the first 2 months, 3,570 Voxy vehicles were registered in the first 2 months compared to 3,687 for the full year of 2025. Again, we're told in this report that drivers alluded to the fact that with a change from the right hand to the left hand, there's some adjustments that are done to the tires and all of those things. And those are some of the concerns that the committee is raising. I'll come back to you, Doc, about the Ghana Standards Authority, who are supposed to be enforcing the law that will prevent these vehicles coming into the country, but we haven't done that, and this is where we find ourselves. Let me get to Samuel Amoah, he's Deputy PR for the GPRTU. He's on Zoom. Mr. Amoah, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us. Your reaction, I'm sure it's been a topical conversation amongst your circles on this this statement that has come out from the National Road Safety Authority. What do you make of it? You agree with it?
Okay, so thank you very much. Good afternoon to you and your viewers. Yes, this information about banning of Toyota Voxy vehicles for making, operating as commercial is something that the GPRTU at this moment, we are not happy about the decision being taken by the National Road Safety Authority. Why am I saying this? Number one, the government has allowed all these vehicles to, enter into the country. It passes through the port. They've taken whatever they have to take and, has allowed these vehicles to, enter into the country. Now, they have taken it to those that, want to use it for commercial purposes. They bought them. They send it to DVLA. DVLA has licensed them, gave them the authority to operate as commercial. Now, the National Road Safety also knows very well that all these vehicles that are operating as commercial, they fall under a union, all right? Because, GPRTU, yes, we have some members that are also operating, with this Voxy buses. So if they find these challenges, what is stopping them from engaging, the leadership of the transport unions about problems like this? But we are even thinking that the main problem has to do with the drivers that are operating the vehicle, because we think that it's the overspeeding that is creating all these problems. Now, they have already allowed these vehicles to come. Some has taken bank loans to buy these vehicles. Some has taken them, some buses for high purchases and all that. Now, yes, it has, created some employment in the system. We can't run away from the fact that, most of the accidents that are happening is involved with this Voxy buses. But we think that checking them very well will minimize the level of accident, because we know that the level of speed is what is causing, most of the accidents. So for National Road Safety, I believe that they should have invited the leadership of the transport union. We sit down, we think of, yes, they have done all their, technical, research and all that, but we are on the grounds. We are operating as a union, and the vehicles are in the system already. Why can't they invite us, sit us down, let's find out the solution to this problem, than to just get up and issue this statement of banning the Voxy. So GP, very happy about this situation at all.
So someone, I don't think they just got up and made the decision. They went through all of their research, and then they submitted their report. Now, you're saying that you're not happy with that. In fact, according to the data here, 34% of the vehicles are only licensed or are actually registered as commercial vehicles.
Can you come?
Yeah, I am saying that 34% of the vehicles that have gone through registration of the Voxy vehicles I'm talking about are registered as commercial vehicles. Most of them are registered as private vehicles, but you'd agree with me that most of them are using them for commercial purposes. On the back of that also, there are a lot of modifications that happen with changing from the right to the left, and that also changes a lot about the cars themselves. That is why the technical working committee is saying that these things do cause mechanical failure, electrical failure and all of those things. Are they not part of the reasons why the accidents happen? Hello, Samuel, can you hear me?
All right. At the point, I was finding it a bit difficult to get everything right, but let me come in. You see, they have done all their checks, their technical checks, and all that. But when the vehicles were coming, they knew very well that it was, the steering was at the right side before it was converted to the left hand side, and at the same time. Some of them are also using them for private purposes, that they do travel to long distances and all that. Are they going to ban those vehicles to those that are using as private purposes? We also have some that are doing it for renters and all that. So we are thinking that banning them from commercial purpose will not solve the problem of causing accident. That is what we are thinking.
Okay, so for these long distances, yesterday I engaged a few people. I know that in Ho to Accra, some of these vehicles ply that route, Koforidua to Accra. In fact, from Accra to Takwa to Takrady to some of these areas, these vehicles ply those routes. Now, this is the situation now, and in fact, the Road Safety Authority says that they're looking at the forward banning of right-handed vehicles coming into the country. This is it now. Are you going to make any step? Are you moving to the Road Safety Authority to try and engage them on this? Hello, Samuel.
Yeah, at the point, the network is not helping me at all. So sometimes I find it difficult to, get some of the questions.
Okay, if I should go over that again, I am saying that.
Hello.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Right. So I am saying.
I can hear you.
I am saying that this is the report that has come out now. Are you going to make any move to engage the National Road Safety Authority regarding this particular directive?
Yeah, perfectly. Exactly that. Today. We were having a meeting, in connection with the president call for emergency cabinet meeting prior to this fuel hikes and the intended transport fare increment. So when this issue also came up, leadership is engaging all the other 16 regional officers to come so that we'll sit and organize ourselves and address this situation by engaging the National Road Safety about this problem.
Okay, so now, why is it that the accidents are happening? Have you not been worried, even before this directive from the Technical Working Committee of the Road Safety Authority? We had seen a lot of the Voxy vehicles involved in accidents, very terrible accidents that have caused the loss of lives over a period from last year into this year, a lot of them. Before even the conversation about the Voxy vehicles, was there not anything that you were doing? Were you not concerned about the rates of the accidents that were happening, Samuel?
Yes, we were much concerned about, accidents do happen. So I remember about 2 months ago, we convened a meeting, and it was involved the branches that are, operating with the Voxy buses, we convey a meeting, and one of the major areas we were talking about is the overspeeding, where, sometimes most of the drivers, they overspeed when they are on roads. And also, we also had an opportunity to engage, car owners, because some of the drivers were saying that the daily sales are too high. That is why sometimes they want to just, go and come, at a shorter period so that they can make up their daily sales and all that. So we were having much concern about this, accident that do happen. Not that we are sitting down idle just, to see all these things that are happening. We are also working hard to make sure that, all these accidents being caused by these Voxy buses will stop. The other time too, we were saying that, formally, when you are on road, you see police will be checking over speeding and all that. Nowadays, the police are not there. So normally when we engage them, when we, meet them for a meeting, we, talk to them, sensitizing them about overspeeding and all that. Yes, some of them, they comply. Some of them, when they get on road, they do their own thing. So we are also thinking that the police can also do their work by, formally the way they go on road, with their speed check guns and all that. When they do that, I think when the driver knows very well that where I am approaching, there will be a police to check my speed limit, I think the driver too will be cautious. So I think these are some of the things we're putting in place, making sure that this accident will also be minimized.
Yeah, so tell them not to overspeed. You don't need a police there to always checking before you slow down. In fact, besides, after they bypass the police, they will continue the speeding.
Let me tell you this. Formerly, myself, I was on road for some time. I remember when I was driving Accra Kumasi, I know very well that police are checking over speed. So when we were running, we manage our speed, because when you know very well that where you are supposed to, speed about 80 kilometers per hour, if you exceed, there is a policeman who will be arresting you over there. And when those things are in your mind, you know very well, and you also, minimize your speed. So apart from we talking to them, the police can also do their work, and it will help.
Okay, so I was just looking at some of the safety risks, and Dr. Akoda is still with us here. So if the vehicles are not done well, they're changing from right to left. If it's not done well, it's going to bring steering and braking systems. They may fail. Airbags will not work properly. There will be structural integrity that will be weakened due to these changes. And these are some of the things that the Technical Working Committee is talking about. And so you say that you'd want to meet the Road Safety Authority and engage them. But my final question, and this may be a bit, still talking about safety vehicles in vehicles, why are some of your cars taking out seat belts from the buses? Have you not seen them? Okay. We've lost someone more there. I was going to ask him that because I really needed him to answer that. But let's get back to Dr. Akoda and hear what he's had to say. Doc, so you heard from the GPRTU. They say they are not happy about this. Would all agree that there's a systemic failure where there should have been a check in the first place that the right-handed vehicles do not come into the country? Now they get in here, and he raised a very valid point that all through registration, they are known that these are right-handed vehicles, and they allow them to be changed to left-handed vehicles, and then even through the registration, it happens like that. We have failed ourselves in that aspect. You'd agree?
Absolutely. I agree that we have failed ourselves, and respectfully, this does not just limit itself to the National Road Safety Authority. It cuts across nearly all the public safety institutions, right? We have not been proactive enough with so many things that border on public safety. Now, Abraham Amaliba, the director at the National Road Safety Authority, is a lawyer, and I believe that this should be basic for him, Public Administration 101. I am not thinking that they have actually issued that directive yet, even though I heard you say it's a recommendation to them, right?
Yeah.
So I am hoping that Abraham, being a lawyer, is going to hold, stakeholder engagement to find, a mutually beneficial, resolution to this issue. Because like the gentleman was telling you, the state looked on while they imported these vehicles, charged them duties. The state looked on while they licensed these vehicles, and then the state put the vehicles on the road. And if you know that nobody has a right to drive in this country, it is a privilege that only the government can give. Now, the government gives them this privilege at a cost, at a fee to them. And suddenly, with all the investments they've made, you want to take it back. Either Abraham and the state should be thinking of huge compensation for owners of these vehicles, or they must find a solution to this problem. I don't believe that in the long term, banning these vehicles that are already in the jurisdiction is the solution to this problem. And I heard the gentleman say again that it is the speeding that is causing the accidents. Unfortunately, the speeding is not a problem of the Toyota Vauxhalls alone. It's a problem of all vehicles on our road. And the Bureau of Public Safety, we have maintained this position since 2017, that if we are able to reduce or put in measures to force drivers to reduce speeding on our roads, we will cut our annual fatalities by half. And at the end of last year, we are now inching 3,000 deaths on our roads a year. So the solution to reducing road fatalities in Ghana is already out there. It is the willpower and the managerial courage to implement what needs to be implemented that is lacking.
Right. Dr. Nana Yaw-Akoda, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. We appreciate you joining us for this conversation of the Bureau of Public Safety. There, as we talk about the issue with the Voxy vehicles that they use for commercial purposes are illegal. Now, let me read through the crash data, and if someone is still on there, I'll get to him in a bit. Now, the national crash data from 2020 to 2025 shows a 9.3% increase in crashes in 2025, reversing a 3-year downward trend. Critically, the fatality rate per 100 crashes reached 20 in 2025, which is the highest in the period. While Voxy crashes represent less than 1% of national figures, their regional impact is disproportionately high. In the Blue region, Voxy crashes account for 14.6% of all crashes. In the Northeast region, 12.7%, and in the Western Central region, 11.0%. And these are the data from the DVLA and the MTTD. And well, I think someone Owusu has someone Amwa rather, Deputy PRO for the GPRTU has left the line. So we stepped out and we engaged some drivers on this, and let's hear what they had to say.
Obi the car bar, especially Obi a taxi driver. Now the bush any battle cars on Meji. Obi also a Uber driver on call on Janida. Tibabusa say a hina on nam also or a taxi driver si debi. Your drivers a training room. Cano your speed as oko. And I be a Uber Mukaswa. Obi Sanka be the one boom, a Yanisa. The Milka and Peke and Tem. It would be the Milka here. Okafasama, the Casachro Massadino.
Me the problem mama in Penifone say, you're gonna for Penifone, Cano, a show mammy, and no original car. Sebi Cano, or may still an abaha. Uti, can a show mammy. Second, yeah, ye chika channel. What translate now call 200, now utapi break. As a qualified driver, be our copy, I saw test break. Say age man as an age man. Who could do 100, air call 120. Who not tabi breaker. Because of kind air show mammy, who not tabi break, a true by one side.
ɛno no ɔma yɛ no saa but sɛ wode ka no nama any problem biara any me ka me kuta almost 4 months ni me nya problem biara et ɛno no ɔmasesa no first wo hwɛ sprinter na yɛ use no some years na bebre ba saa na tie ne ya dane no aso so wo kuta any problem bia ba ka no de problem amode ma saa de we ni nyina yɛ driver funk to ano
3,000 ɛno na me ba be kan ni nyina ka ho na ma pressure eba driver for no so because wakwa akoda Kumasi bi wo 2 days 3 days on my kofobia ya wakwa bi wo 2 days ana obekwa akoda nyame ya adoma ade chi ana obeba so unya load emfiri ha nya den enko enti esa na ma yese pressure bia ya den abeda wo so enti amomu ni ka una fo no so nya den enkasa says ye 2000 ana 1000 5080 kura kakra odi usika bebrel enya da
yeah drivers na anya ye de cause anya nyina na drive wo kwano so rough drivers no say accident we see a ebia na obi ni careless and I say ne said one who ni driving nusu ye ntina wa ma sare na si and I say accident be si so also mo hwe bibia station no car ni free bibia car ni free ansana o ma kasa sen we.
Speaking about this new development from the National Road Safety Authority. And so the conversation continues. Would definitely work on getting the technical working committee who did this report to speak to us and then get to understand a few things from the report. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're talking about the Publican AI system being used at the ports. The coalition of freight forwarders are calling on the Ministry of Finance to suspend that. So stay with us. When we come back, we get into that conversation.
March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month.
Have you attained 45 years and older? Notice blood in your stool, a family history of cancer? Then don't wait to have a colonoscopy. Early detection of cancer and effective treatment save lives.
There are weak points in the development and spread of cancers of the large bowel that we have control over to stop, to reduce the incidence and deaths from these cancers. Achieving this success depends on you and me. We are fully prepared. What about you?
Visit Mintuba Hospital and Coloproctology Center today or call us. Mintuba Hospital, first Ghana Colorectal Center, in to serve a peculiar health need.
Brush, 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 brush your teeth. Brush, 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 2 times a day. Brush with Kel-Kate.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kel-Kate Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky chicky whiter, chicky chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel-Kate, happy smile.
Finding the ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. At MNC Properties, we believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy, specifically designed for low and medium income earners. Our range of customizable homes includes 2 and 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We understand the importance of simplicity and convenience in the acquisition process. That's why we have designed our procedures to be straightforward and hassle-free, offering flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs. In addition to our affordable homes, we proudly offer litigation-free lands for sale in vibrant and upscale communities that present the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality, providing you with the joy of owning a home that meets your budgets and aspirations. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 030-255-1917. MNC Properties, choice of class.
Hey, Bunty, why you there? Wallahi, today you go give me my money.
Oh, my guy, what's up? Oba un 17 and dede baby. Scan on ASA. 500 cedis per.
I see. Level don't change. But to show me the way.
But there's some sorry, Amanua. Talk to babe.
¿Quieres ganar dinero?
Huh?
Cash.
Yes, cash.
Let me show you the easy way to make money with OneChat.
Visit the WannaOwn website at wannaown.us. Sign up with your phone number and get ready to play. Select games on the homepage and then select one-shot game. Deposit to make an entry, then pick a number from 0 to 99. If your number comes up, you win a cool 500 cedis.
Hey, so it'll be easy like that.
Just like that.
So I'll go to buy my dream car.
Por supuesto. Just visit wannaown.us and win some cool cash prizes.
Baby, yes, baby. A bomb.
You be too much.
Play responsibly. Gaming can be addictive. Accredited and endorsed by the Gaming Commission of Ghana.
Right, so welcome back from the break. This is Good Afternoon Ghana on Metro TV. My name is Desmond Okrekudanso, and we're live on our social media handles. Do want to join us on there, and also 94.1 FM on radio. Now, we're getting into a conversation that you remember that we began here on the table, and that was about the use of the Publican AI system at the ports. Now, Michael Chibefi, former deputy minister, was here. We talked about, he mentioned the fact that the use of that system is fraudulent. He questioned the procurement process for that particular system to be used at the port, and they pointed out to the finance minister, Dr. Cassio Atoforsin, and also the boss at the Ghana Revenue Authority, that they have been doing something untoward with respect to this particular system's usage at the port. Now, the coalition of traders and freight forwarders have released a status. I'm going to try and read that, and then I'll introduce my guest in studio to you so we have this conversation. So, on this letter, they say urgent request for immediate suspension of the Publican AI system pending resolution of critical trade disruptions, and the right to the Minister of Finance, saying that we write in furtherance to a recent engagement with government, most notably the meeting with the Honorable Deputy Minister for Finance held on the 1st of April 2026 regarding the implementation of the Publican AI system. We wish to respectfully convey on behalf of the coalition of freight forwarders, traders, and business associations our deep dissatisfaction with the outcome of that engagement. The meeting did not result in any immediate or practical resolution of the critical issues we raised. While the proposal to establish a joint stakeholder committee has been noted, it does not address the urgent and ongoing operational challenges currently confronting the trading community. As of today, that's the time that the letter was written, the situation at the port and entry points remain dire. 1. persistent delays in valuation, 2, exorbitant and unsustainable duty assessments, severe disruption to trade, unreliable and incomprehensive appeal system. These are immediate real-time challenges imposing substantial financial losses on businesses and threatening the stability of the trading environment. In light of the above, we respectfully but firmly call for the immediate suspension of the current application of the Publican AI system in customs valuation, pending a comprehensive review and alignment with Ghana's legal framework and international obligations. So that's the statement from the Coalition of Traders and Freight Forwarders. And joining us in studio today, Michael Obri-Ejay is convener for the Coalition of Concerned Importers and Exporters, Traders and Freight Forwarders, and also Ohineba Kwesi Afewa is chairman for the Concerned Freight Forwarders and Traders Association. And joining us on Zoom will be Reverend John Awuni, is chairman for the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We're having our conversation off, and I could see that you are not happy at all, Michael. This system came to use on the 12th of March. Yes, 12th of March at the port, and you are saying that it's not working. It's destroying businesses at the port. What's happening? You mentioned 4 points, and I want you to touch on some of them, and then we'll get into the meetings that you've had and what has been the outcome so far. Michael, I'll begin with you, then I come to Ohineba.
Okay, thank you very much. So, this whole system, one of the major concerns we've had with this system is that the whole process of the deployment was shrouded in some opaqueness. And I say this because if you're introducing such a system into the business community, knowing how technical and complex some of these things would be, you would need to carry along everybody within the trading community. And that's why you would see that post the deployment of the system, almost everybody, I wouldn't even say almost everybody within the ecosystem has been against it.
They said there was a pilot period. Did you not see that?
A pilot with 5 companies, as they mentioned. That, you see, that is not stakeholder engagement. In fact, the only stakeholder, and I don't call that stakeholder engagement, I call that an information, because we were called on the 14th of January this year to Oak Plaza, and then they told us what the system was and what the system intends to do. In my view, and for a reasonable person out there, that is not stakeholder consultation.
You were just told that this is it. And
yes,
so
that's like calling people to tell them, give them information and do a presentation of how the system is going to operate. But post that, what we have seen is that post the deployment of the system has, contrary to what they made us believe, at least in their presentation, that it was going to facilitate trade among others. It has now made trade more burdensome. In fact, it is now more difficult for you, and even more difficult for you to do business at the port than it was before the implementation of the system. First, the appeal processes that used to exist no longer exist. They have changed the appeal processes. And you would know that when it comes to our business, time is of the essence.
Right.
Because the little delays that happens to you, then you're being faced with demurrage, rent, among others. Now, they scrapped the appeal process where if you had disputes with the valuation that you've been given, you can deal, or any other matter, you can deal with it at the port of entry. And they say, come to the Ministry of Finance. We have, and per their Monday publication last 2 weeks, you would say, they say, come to the Ministry of Finance. We have a 2 days that we set. We've set up a committee, and the committee will set 2 days within the week.
To hear issues that come up from the port.
That comes up from the port, not just Tema Port, not Tema Port and Takoradi, all ports of entry. And so if you are from Elubo, it just simply means come with your disputes documentation, bring it to the Ministry of Finance. There's a committee that would sit on your matter twice a week. Now, within that 2 weeks, within that 2 times a week, you can imagine all the time that is being spent, the cost that comes to the person. Now, let's even put the appeals on the side. We're saying that the system is giving arbitrary values. The system is giving arbitrary values because contrary to what an AI should be doing, which should, in our system, which should assist you in classification of goods, the AI is now giving you values. The AI is now giving you values. And we'll come to what I mentioned to you briefly, because you were talking about the Toyota Volkswagen. We have a BOE here that shows that for the Toyota Volkswagen, the duty is about 7 million. 7 million Ghana cedis for a Toyota Volkswagen. And these are figures that the AI is churning out. Clearly arbitrary. You have statements issued from the Commissioner General that says that the customs officer, when he's giving you the value, should pick between the higher of the AI value and a value that he himself works out. So the directive is this: if the AI gives you, let's say, $10 as your value,
right,
and the customs officer, while doing his valuation, realizes that, or he says the value you are supposed to pay is $20, the Commissioner General statement says the customs officer should pick the $20 over the 10. But if the 20 is given to you by the AI and the customs officer's valuation gives you 10, he shouldn't pick his 10. He should pick the 20. Clearly in violation of our law. Now, you cannot do this to a businessman because business thrives on predictability. You would, as a businessman, once you travel to go and bring goods, the idea is that you know how much you can foretell how much you should pay for your duty. So you don't come to Ghana, our port of entry, and they start to give you arbitrary values. That kills trade.
Okay. Let me bring in Ohineba. You're leading a group, and I'm sure everybody's not happy also.
At all. For the past 2 weeks, it has been a very hectic time for us. And our coming here just let Ghanaians know that what is happening at the ports now is actually going to go back to them as final consumers. Because in a situation where just 2 weeks, your normal duty that has been paying now has now been quadrupled. What it means is that the thing gets to markets, and market people are also going to add their costs and their profit to that. And the final consumers are going to be the people who are going to suffer. So we are here to let the whole Ghana know that the work or the business at the port now, is going to die in no time.
So I was asking the question of that we're told that the AI system is supposed to assist what is presently being used, which is the items which came in. And Michael Achuba, if you raised that conversation last week, that it is even making it worse, at the port. I want you to paint a picture for us, for many of our viewers who may not have gone to the port or know anything about what happens at the port. Give us a picture of what happens at the ports now.
The issue of the matter is this: all the successive governments comes to introduce a new system, all in the name of facilitation trade at the port, but it doesn't happen. I remember in the days of the former administration, they came in with the paperless ports. As I'm speaking now, it didn't work. The only difference is that you don't carry a lot of documents to offices. There's a number called BOE number.
Right.
When you go along with your BOE number, every information is found in the system. That's the only thing that does. Apart from that, the time to pay duty, the time to release your cargo from shipping line, and now with the current situation, MPS and GPHA, they will determine which time for you to come and clear your goods. They can give you 24 hours or 5 hours for you to come and load your stuff and start your process. So the time limit that they be apportioned to clearing of the goods is not working. When they are bringing this AI, the whole story is that just to facilitate the process at the port. And we have seen that it's not going to be like that. It's all going to be like getting more revenue for the state, which we are not, against it. But the situation, the model that is happening now, that's what we are against it. So we are saying, let us sit at the round table. All the problems that we have, identified, we've tabled it one by one. Let's, sit down and judge and see how effective we are going to run the system. Which they say no. Since they have introduced the AI, the system should run. But the duty that is coming out now goods are stuck at the port. People are not be able to pay. So when the minister, last week, published that AI has come to rake a lot of revenue, fine. On their data, you see
it shows us a lot of revenue.
Fine, but get to the grass, on the field and see if people are paying duty or now or not. It's easy for them to check it. There's difference between generation of the duty and how people will be able to also pay. Right now, there are a couple of BOEs that we have compiled from members. And my brother, when we show you some of them, you cry for Ghana. You cry for Ghana that in this modern age, even microwave, 20-liter container microwave, which contains about 220 pieces, the duty is 166,000 Ghana cedis.
166,000.
Yeah.
What would it have been earlier?
Very well. When you divide the quantity per the duty, one duty for microwave is 750 Ghana cedis. How much is being sold in the market?
Yeah.
Even with their added cost and their interest or whatever. Are you getting me?
Yes.
These are some of the things that we are drawing the government attention. Slippers, these Chinese slippers, 790 cartons, but 36 pairs. The person is paying almost 500,000 as a duty, only duty. How much is being sold in the market? Air conditioner, only the outdoor unit, 1.5. Only the outdoor unit, not the settle. Only the outdoor unit, 250 pieces. And the duty is 286,000 Ghana. Only the outdoor unit. So in effect, one outdoor unit, the duty on it is 1,271 Ghana cedis.
I would appreciate if you would also share with us what the prices would have been earlier before the use of this system.
Very well. For the microwave, we were paying around 60,000 Ghana cedis for a duty.
Okay.
So if there should be every upward adjustment, maybe 15 or 20% of it, because we need the revenue.
Right.
But to give 166,000
from
59 to 60,000, depending on exchange rate differential.
Okay. All right. So let's cap it at 60,000.
Very well, 60,000. And now it's 166,000. And the most annoying part of it, when you put in petition, they are telling you that send the petition through customs portal, and they will collect all the BOE numbers, forward it to Republican AI, whose office is being situated at Ministry of Finance, for them to sit as a committee to decide whether it should be reviewed or not. And as I'm speaking, they will come back with a report that it has been declined. So nobody is attaching anything. If you push this, okay, bring your transactional evidence, bank transfer, your sales contract, export documents. How many people, import through bank transfer? Some have their contract with their suppliers for 90 days, 120 days. And even a country like India, where customs to cost, because Ghana Custom is also part of the World Customs Organization, WCO. Now the AI is rejecting shipment from India, which covered with the India shipping bill as IceGate. That gives the true reflection of the transaction. AI is rejecting it, and nothing is being done about it.
Okay. Well, so Reverend John Awuni is joining us via Zoom. Let's see if he's on, so we can engage him on there, and then we can continue with the rest of the conversation. Okay, he's with the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana. Reverend Awuni, many thanks for joining us. Your colleagues here are not happy at all about the situation. You've heard them. Let's hear your story also, and that's of your association. What is happening with you?
Well, thank you very much, and good afternoon to my colleagues in the studio, and then good afternoon to your viewers. Let me begin by saying that every progressive individual, progressive society will always look for new systems and modalities that will make life much more easier. So the business community, as a matter of fact, will continue to look forward to systems and that will enhance and facilitate trade. And as representatives of the business community, we continuously look forward to policies, programs, and technologies that will facilitate trade, that will make prices of goods lower, that will enhance our rate of turnover of goods, and that will make things perfectly okay for the business person. And the business person does well, the economy does well. As in basic economics, we are told that the private sector is the engine of growth. So any impediment on the side of the private sector, when the private sector is not performing well, then it presupposes that the economy also will not be doing well. So as a matter of fact, the high levels of unemployment in this country is an indication of the malfunction of the private sector. So we have always been open and looking forward to various governments that will come out with policies that will enhance the performance of the private sector. And indeed, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, on his campaign, acknowledged the various layers of cost at the port, acknowledged the bureaucracy, acknowledged the delay, the red tapeism at the port, and then promised that when he comes, he will make things much more easier and business progressive. And he has come, given the nod, and he has also even gone to take it a step further and launch the 24-hour economy. 24-hour economy is based on the fact that demand for goods are high. Where the demand is, that's where supply will go to. So if you have this model as a government and this vision as a government, you will, when you come in and you institute a particular system that businesses are giving feedback, you don't oppose it. The AI system is a disruptive system at the port. The AI system provides room for unpredictability. The AI system is a tool that will eventually cause the collapse of many businesses, kill their capital, and for those who will survive, they will have no option but to increase the prices of their goods at the market, and at the end of the day, the ordinary Ghanaian, the foot soldier that the government presupposes that represents, is the one that will suffer. If you bring in a particular product, and as I'm saying, a product like sugar, that made ordinarily the duty or the cost of the bag of sugar is 400 cedis. At the end of the day, you are given 3 times the cost of that bag of sugar for you to clear. It's better you just leave it to the government. And as a matter of fact, we are very highly disappointed to the fact that the government can leave such a sensitive area, such as the port, to an AI, artificial intelligence system. Artificial intelligence system that has no intelligence on its own, but is based on what the intelligence of the officer, the one who, whatever you put in there and whatever, if you put in rubbish, it will generate rubbish for you.
Reverend,
so why will the government submit itself to an AI system that completely has disrupted trade, that is making businesses pay demurrages day in and day out? And as I speak, many people have abandoned their goods at the port. And like my colleagues there are saying, they are not just conjuring stories, manufacturing stories, but these are realities. The people have gone in for appeals and they cannot clear the goods. Reverend, the appeal come back and say no. And once the appeal is pending, they are paying demurrage.
Reverend, let me come in. Reverend, let me come in. Is it not also that, and let me just ask this question, that the authorities are trying to block loopholes in terms of financial benefits or financial values, from the port, and you all may not be exactly excited about it?
You see, they will always say that when the music changes, the dancers will also change their way of dancing. As we speak now, many are routing their goods through Togo, Aflao, and they will bring it in. Your borders are not tight. Your officers are not corrupt-proof. So the flower border is there, the Togo border, the Cote d'Ivoire border, and there are many porous unapproved routes that over the years, over 20 years, I have campaigned against smuggling and talked about smuggling. And smuggling is a part and parcel of the Ghanaian economy. So when you put in things and say that you don't trust the people also now, if people want to evade, they will continue to evade. And as a matter of fact, the AI system is not supposed to be deployed at the port, because when you do that, you will kill businesses. And the complaints that we are putting out there is genuine. To say that you are plugging holes. We have been here, and custom officers have come at the government. GRA have always announced that they always exceed their revenue. Over the years, their target, they exceed. So it's the AI that has been bringing in the money. So the ICOMs and all the other systems that are there, they are useless. The officers that are sitting down there, they are useless. If they have hope in the AI, let the custom officers go home and sleep. Let the AI itself work and bring them the money. What they have put in there, they themselves must be aware that the custom officers are not happy with them. And we have the feedback from custom officers.
Okay.
You make them look like idiots.
Right, Reverend. Hold on to that. Let me engage Michael and Oheneba. I see Reverend is not happy at all. So Reverend, you could get some water on that. Let me engage Michael and Oheneba in here. Michael, so the meeting with the Deputy Finance Minister, how did that go? And what were the concerns raised? What were the solutions that were proposed for that?
The matters are frustrating for anybody who does business. I can truly understand the frustration. And you see, when we met the minister last week, Tuesday, the concerns have largely been the same. That look, the AI system that you have deployed, we are not against technology. We understand that for a developing country, technology is how we are going to leapfrog development. That we understand. But we are saying that this particular AI that you have deployed, it is churning out values that are unreasonable. In some instances, it is given, so there's another BOE that two different consignments.
Okay, let's, maybe my viewers have heard a lot of the BOE, so what exactly is that?
So, Bill of Entry.
Bill of Entry, okay. Right.
Okay, now, two different consignments. One has, let's say, one has 2 containers, and the other had 1 container. The one that had 1 container, same goods, same products. The one that had 1 container, the value was 500,000.
Yeah.
And the one that had 2 containers, the value was 100,000. How does this make sense? Because the AI goes on a fishing expedition. When I go to any country, Brazil, and I go to buy things, there's some, I pay for the things, there's receipts. They give me my invoices. So those are the transactional values that you should use. We raised these things with the Deputy Minister of Finance. We told him that your appeal processes are unbearable. They are killing businesses. In fact, at that meeting, we told him that importers are asking their agents to re-export their goods back to the country of origin. There are some importers who are diverting the goods to other countries. I can tell you today that frozen cargo is more cheaper to clear frozen cargo in Abidjan is more cheaper than it is in Ghana. Goods are quadrupling by the day. And you see, we told him that it is untrue, that it is the case that people are undercutting the system. Because you see, we've proceeded on this trajectory for a very long time. And that's why you see that year in, year out, when every government comes, they try to introduce some revenue assurance system. And you've been in this country, we've seen that almost every government has a certain revenue assurance system that they introduce either in the ports, the telco, the mining sector, everywhere. The problem is that we proceed on a mistaken premise that the importers or the traders are stealing from you. If we were stealing, since 2020, you would not have been able to exceed the targets that you set by yourself. Nobody asks customs or the Ministry of Finance to set any targets. They set their own target. They look at the preceding year, do their own analysis, and assume that this is what we will be able to rake in this year. And so this is the targets we set. Every year, year on, customs has exceeded its target from the business at the port. So it cannot be true. We told this to the minister. Unfortunately, it does appear that the minister and the Commissioner General would not listen to us. Or would not.
There weren't any assurances?
No. You see, all that they were telling us is, let's proceed, and while we are working, we'll be able to fine-tune it. We're saying that you are proceeding on an illegality. We're telling you that this AI that you have deployed, the way you have deployed it is in breach of Section 67, 68 of Act 891. How do we proceed on something that is in breach of the law? How do we proceed against the backdrop of something that is in breach of the law? If you suspend it, then you can engage stakeholders. Then through the right means, we can introduce it. Like we have said, we're not against advancement in technology. We're not in the primitive days. We understand that the world is moving forward. And so these are the concerns that we made to the minister. Unfortunately, again, and regrettably, like I said, the minister or the deputy minister, because we were in the company of the deputy minister, he chaired that meeting. They did not give us any assurances. They are bent on proceeding. Subsequent to that meeting, I have personally filed an RTI to the Commissioner General, because like I said that a lot of these discussions has been covered in a lot of opacity. We don't even, and with our history with revenue assurance systems, I do not need to go into our history, but we all know what revenue assurance systems have done in this country. We need to know the company behind this, what the terms of reference are, what is the cost that is, who is bearing the cost? Are we bearing the cost as an account of whatever cargo that comes in? Are they taking a percentage?
So all of those things
were not made known to you. All of these things are not clear.
So now that becomes,
unfortunately, they haven't even acknowledged the RTI by writing back.
So Honorable Michael Trebefi has an RTI request. So you are also looking forward to one that will be acknowledged?
Yes, because we have tabled down specific issues, and we believe that as people within the industry, those issues must be answered.
You need to know who is in charge of the company.
Exactly.
When did the contract?
What is their track record?
Yes.
Because you cannot set up a system that is
giving a port
to manage our port, $1 billion industry, and we do not know the track record of the people. So, for instance, because you don't know the track record of the people, we can't even tell the AI, the way they've deployed the AI. This AI, we don't know whether they are feeding it with the right values. What is the terms of reference? How does the AI generate its values?
How long this is even going to last?
How long? Because you clearly say that is only 25% of the people that are non-compliant. And we're saying on record that even that value, that figure that they give, we dispute it.
Okay. So now you're calling for the suspension, Hineba. As you mentioned, the response from the meeting wasn't assuring enough. And it looks like it's going to go on. Today is 8th or 9th.
Yeah.
So in just about 3 days, it's going to be a month of the implementation of that system at the port. What's your next line of action?
Thank you so much. Let me touch on this before I come back to our line of action. Ghana's economy drives on imports. And the moment you touch the port, it's like you've touched the heart of the economy. Many traders are doing their business by way of sourcing funds from bank and other way to do their business. Like we have said, we are not against the introduction of this AI system. But where traders are not happy with it, I think the earlier the better the government will listen to our plea. As we are speaking right now, all the trading community are speaking from one voice. The line of action that you are talking about is that we are going to have a sit-down strike. Because if we are calling on government to suspend the whole process for us to sit down and reintroduce back, and they said no. Meanwhile, the custom has been working with the benchmark value all these years, and that has been the system that we'll be using at the port and working. So suspend it. Let's sit down at the round table. All the things that we have seen that is being problem that we are seeing now, let's talk about it and reintroduce the AI again. They are saying no. So from next week, we are going to have a sit-down strike to caution the government that, hey, the importers are saying we shouldn't pay their duty. So we'll sit down, we are not going to pay any duty. If my client brings me money, I'll pay the duty. But they are saying that we should sit down, they are not going to pay any duty. Let the thing get stuck at the port. And this is the first line of action that we are going to take.
Right. So this coalition, let me just go through the names. There's the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, Customs Brokerage Association of Ghana, Association of Customs House Agents Ghana, Food and Beverages Association of Ghana. The chairman is on Zoom with us, Reverend John Awuni, the Ashanti Business Owners Association, our friend Osei Poku. Yes, Traders Advocacy Group Ghana, also Concerned Traders and Agents of Ghana, Exim Frozen Food Importers Association of Ghana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 8 to 9.
Yeah.
You want to embark on the strike?
We are going to do that sharp.
You see?
Okay.
Let me
quickly, then I can bring.
Let me add that. You see, it's not even because we just want to go on strike. The truth of the matter is that the traders cannot pay for the duty. So it's not that we just want to go on strike and want to thwart government's effort at running an economy. The truth is that you don't have the money to pay. If you don't have the money to pay, what would you do? You would sit down and fold your arms, because the one who should listen to you, who is your development partner, the government, has taken an entrenched position in this matter. And so it is not that we just want to take a sit down. It is that people do not have the money to pay. If we revert back to the system where people can have the money to pay for what they could have predicted, I can assure you that people would pay for the duties and would move on smoothly.
Okay. Reverend Awuni, so let me take your final take on this, and then I'll just take the final words from Michael and then Ohineba. So they've mentioned that there's going to be a sit-down strike if nothing is done. Michael Chibefi also says that after 2 weeks of the RTI request, if he doesn't hear anything, he's going to take it to court to draw the attention of Parliament to this situation that is happening at the port. I saw the frustration earlier. What else can you add to it? As to what are you seeing at the port?
Well, thank you. Let me say that. Let me remind the government, when we're in opposition, they should measure the temperature of Ghanaians when they reacted to the e-levy. When the NPP wanted to introduce the e-levy, and then we kept on saying no. The level of anger, the level of dissatisfaction, the level of discontentment, the way it was, this AI is even more, the level of discontentment is more than that. Not because people want to evade taxes or want to under-invoice or beat the system, but that the AI is a disruptive system at the port. It could have been put as some small ministry somewhere they would test it and see, maybe the lands or somewhere they can test it and see, but not at the port, such a sensitive area, a place that is capable of killing somebody's business within a day or within a shipment. So we will say that let the government equate the reaction and the discontentment to the then e-levy, the discontentment. And then again, people have started routing their goods, as I receive information, to Togo, to Côte d'Ivoire, and to many other routes. They may be excited that they are getting higher revenue, which is even disputable. But eventually, the government may regret if they don't take out the interest of the feedback that we are giving them. What we are doing is not fighting the system, but giving them feedback so that they can remodel their system. The AI for now must be suspended, and let's look to a way forward. Nothing happens, nobody loses. The government rather will gain because they still have ECUMS, and all other systems that have been running for years, they still have other things that to run. If you find out that you even accuse people that they are under invoiced, then you should begin to look at your tax system. That means your tax system is very punitive. That's why people want to avoid. So let them look at their tax system, that it is punitive. That's why they have suspicion that people want to avoid. The business community is in partnership with the government for development.
Right.
For now, AI must go off completely.
Right. Reverend John Awuni, thank you very much for your time. He's the chairman for the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana. Michael and Oniba here. Michael, in a minute, and then Oniba also wrap it up. Right.
The pleasure of hosting the president. He was then candidate, now president. And he himself acknowledged the burden of doing business at the ports, given the taxes that were there at the time. And he made us a firm promise that he would make sure that during his tenure as president, we would have a better environment as business people.
Right.
When he came in, we saw that the dollar appreciated, the cedi appreciated against the dollar. And so for us, we thought that that was a new time for us to have a fresh breathing space as a business community. Unfortunately, this is giving a retrogression of the gains that was made. It would surprise you to know that you are paying more in duty than you were paying when the dollar was 15. And that should not be the case.
Okay.
If you allow people to smuggle goods, and I would end on that. If you allow people to smuggle goods, what happens is not just the loss of revenue. It is that your agencies like the FDA, the Standard Authority, and others who had the benefit of checking the quality of goods that goes onto the market do not have that privilege, do not have that opportunity again. And so our request is simple: that suspend this AI. Let us meet as a business community and the government, and let's fashion a way that is proper to do this for government's own benefit and for the benefit of the business community.
Right, Ohinaba.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think I want to say that for the last 1 year now, the government has been so good holding the dollar to our advantage in terms of businesses at the port.
Right.
So we don't expect at this hour coming to introduce an AI to come and pull down all your successes. We want to use your platform to caution the government that the heart of Ghana is where they are touching. So if they don't give a listening ear to what we are saying, we are already standing on the bridge about to cross it to the other side of it. We don't want to get there before they call for a meeting.
Okay.
They should give a listening ear and let the customs go back with the system that they are used to. Us will sit down at the round table to judge and arrive at how to reintroduce the AI again. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So we heard from Ohineba Kwesi Afewa, chairman of the Concerned Freight Forwarders and Traders Association. Michael Obriye J is convener for the Coalition of Concerned Importers and Exporters, Traders, and also Freight Forwarders, talking about their call for suspension of the use of the public and AI system at the port. Many thanks for watching the show. In the coming days, Ghana National Fire Service, I'll be on your case, and then my roads at Bawi CP, the assembly there, I'll be on your case too. Many thanks for watching. My name is Desmond Okrekodans. We're back tomorrow, same time, 12 noon to 2 p.m. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Bye-bye.
In the month of March and April 2026, all roads lead to Denu. Join the Denu Ngoyiza 2026 Planning Committee in collaboration with Metro TV for an exciting celebration of culture, unity, and renewal. Venue, Denu Swansea Beach and selected locations. Get to South. Date from 19